with a triple. He's just going to kill his own teammate, but it doesn't really matter right now.
Jones just still going. He finds 3 as well. Might do the smoke and finds 2. That might just be it for EU's finest. Disgusting from Dragons. Lovely stuff from Sergio. Oh my god. Saki, TJ and Breaker, you'll go back to the respawn queue. Oh my god, Breaker finds 3. TJ just finds 3 massive kills for his team. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Week number 2 of the winter quarter here at the Gears Pro League in Europe. My name is Stone and I'm joined by Fru. Once again. We're cracking through some of these now, aren't we? I mean, this must be our 8th show together or something like that. Maybe 7th?
So. 7th with Toby coming in that one time.
Toby came in and just interjected a little bit, likes to get amongst it, does Toby. But yes, we are here once again, the second week of the winter quarter. As said, and some interesting games this week, Fru.
Yeah, definitely. That bottom of the table matchup and the top of the table matchup coming up for us. So it's the one where we start to split the teams and really find out who is where in that leaderboard.
Yeah, we'll find out very, very shortly where everybody is going to lie. Of course, as said, though, it is the top 2 teams, the teams who won last week in week number 1 going up against each other, and the 2 teams that lost going up against each other, just the way that it has panned out.
Yep.
But it does make for 2 good games, you feel?
I think so, yeah. I think the first one coming up, Obey, they're going to be looking to bounce back against what was essentially a beating from Rated R last week. And Regal, they had a close game against EU's finest. So for me, it's kind of sad to see them in that bottom half at the moment, but it's early days, right? We've got a long way to go just yet.
Super early, but let's find out who was top of the pops last week, and let's have a look at the stats of how things did roll out. We did give Marsh the MVP. I mean, that was on a whim, because look at these stats. Oh my word.
Yeah, about that. I think I
still think in the grand scheme of things that there's more than just stats that come into it. It has to be said.
Impact and then there's stats. I think statistically we can do an MVP, and also impact of the week we can do an MVP there, right? But yeah, I mean, EU's finest across the board. Crimson's Hydra and Crimson's Hydra and Crimson. They had a very, very good week. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I think, when you're talking stats as well, it's based off one game as 2, so you can only maybe put so much stock into them, of course, but it did indeed end us up with the league standings as such, which will come up in just a second as well, with EU's finest and, of course, Rated R sitting at the top. They will be playing each other second. But I think, when we do talk about stats after 1 week, you have to take them with a pinch of salt, of course.
I think you could take them with a pinch of salt in terms of just the winter, but we've also got that, the 6 weeks of the fall quarter that we can fall back on, and EU's finest, they were up there for, the whole 6 weeks there as well. So I think that's going to be pretty telling, even if the standings of the league right now. It's how the teams match up. They are the best team currently in Europe, are EU's finest, and that's why they're there at the top of the stats.
Yeah, let's have a look at the stats anyway. Rated R, EU's finest sitting at the top. Regal Reserve and OB Alliance sitting at the bottom, unfortunately, in those round differences. And as said, we're bringing you this information, but at the same time, it is only after 1 week, so we can only caveat this at least and just sort of say how everyone is going. But it does, it's curious because Rated R last season had a fantastic start. They beat EU's finest 2-0, and then they struggled throughout the rest of it as well. So, they would have been in and around the bottom had they not got that win over EU's finest. And it's a tough one to take for the other 2 teams, of course. But at the same time, let's see if they can be consistent throughout this quarter. Now let's have a look into game number 1 in a second. OB Alliance against Regal Reserve. What we thinking through? Because it's a tough one to call, I say.
It's a tough one to call. I am going to go with Regal on this one.
I think that's where you would lean, but it's hard to say. The thing is we don't know how good everybody is yet.
Yep.
That's sort of the stage we're at with these new standings.
Yeah, I had a quick look into the stats before we came on broadcast, and for Regal Reserve, realistically, the only thing that they're doing horrendously wrong is dying too much. And against EU's finest, that's not a surprising stat for me. No. That's something I would expect coming out of that game. So if they can tighten up their deaths a little bit, their objective play was solid. They were keeping pace in terms of caps and breaks. Their score in general was pretty even as well. It was just the deaths count. They were having to respawn in so many times. Yeah. Obey, on the other hand, they were just low on the score.
Let's talk about Obe. Yeah, low. I mean, it was a slow performance, wasn't it, last week? Yeah. It has to be said. It's one of those where you don't know how good Rated R are, or if Obe have just had a bad time with things, but they will be going up against Regal Reserve here. For me, though, Regal Reserve, they are sort of, quote-unquote, the second-best team coming into the season. So you would say... Well, some would say best. But, I mean, they lost to EU's finest last week. But it's one of those things that, it's backwards and forwards between them. But Regal Reserve going up against OB here, they would be expecting to win this, as we said.
Yep.
They are the team to beat for OB here. and they're the team that everyone else has to be aiming for. Everyone's presuming EU's finest are going to be at the top once. Well, I say once again, but they will be at the top of the majority of the season.
Going into Mexico,
this is go on.
I think that's the caveat, right?
Going into
Mexico, yes, you'd expect them to be at the top. However, LAN performance currently, we're seeing Regal Reserve as that best team.
It's one game.
It's one game. It's one matchup. It was a bad event for Europe as a whole, and honestly, Regal, they capitalized on that. However, we do have to say, coming into this winter quarter, Regal were number one. They were at the top. They were a couple of points ahead, and it's a strange little curveball, right?
Yeah, and that's why I keep saying it, and I'm like, wait, no, Regal finished first. And sometimes I think that, I forget clearly, but at the same time, a lot of people, maybe how much stock do they put into that?
As you said, it's one game, one
game
series
difference. That sort of made the difference between these two. They did push their EU's finals quite far in terms of the league last season. I think they lost quite close games last season, if I am remembering correctly. But we are going to be getting this game very, very shortly. I think the picks and bans are nearly ready to go as well. We'll get them up on your screens in a second. What are we thinking then? If you're Obey, do you throw a curveball here? Or do you just play your own game?
I mean, their games last week, they had Icebound second. I was going to see if Icebound was coming in. That's banned out straight away. Yeah. That's no surprise because Regal came in and had a very hot game against EU's finest on that Icebound. So
it was close, wasn't it? It was
no surprise to me. It was 5-4. And also Obey, they lost on it last week as well. So jumping on something a bit different, Regal going for that bunker pick. This is something that both teams have been familiar with. Definitely through the fourth quarter. We haven't seen it yet in this quarter, but always good to see that map coming in. District, again, I feel like that's a good pick for Regal.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
I think they can definitely set up shop there in those central positions and hold Obey off, and that's what Regal are good at. On the other hand, we have Asylum at the end. That was a map we saw last time. We saw Regal get battered on it, quite honestly, and Obey have been pretty good at that bridge fight, so that could be a very even match going into that third map.
I think if you're Obey, you try to get there.
Yep.
That's the problem. I think that's where they're going to struggle. I think Bunker and District, I would prefer them for Regal Reserve, personally. When it comes to Obey, if they can get it to Asylum, they've got a good chance. I think that's pretty much where we lie on that one, so we'll get this one started very, very shortly. I'm going to ask you a prediction on scoreline. Because I got mine right last week when I said
you did. I went for a few risky picks last week just to try and top the table, but it didn't work out.
I was sitting on the fence.
It didn't work. I'm going to go safe this time. I have to go Regal Reserve. Obey's performance last week was not promising for me, and Regal's was, even though they are at that 2-0 map loss.
Yes, well, let's see how this one goes down. Now, a head-to-head for this game, though, the players to watch out for is Ashens and Zorkos. Fru, tell me why.
Why? Well, these were the top 2 scoring players from each team's last week in terms of their average score across the 2 maps that we saw them play in. They're a pretty even matchup. You can have a look at the stats there in front of you. KDA-wise, Ashens leading that way. But the eliminations were pretty close. The caps and the objective play was reasonably close. And honestly, that is more because Regal Reserve as a team, they were more involved in that objective play. So I think these two are the 2 players to watch this time going into it. If they can keep pace as they did last week, this is going to be a good head-to-head.
Yeah, and again, I'll keep saying it. I'll keep stressing it throughout the first couple of weeks. Stats, wait until everybody sort of played each other once at least, I would say, and then we can get a good level playing field of where we're actually at with some of these. Of course, Ashens and Zorkos had different opponents last week, so they've only played each other. Well, they haven't played each other yet, but they've only played one other team, so it's hard to really distinguish too much from the stats, but they are there for your viewing pleasure, of course. But we are going to be getting into this one in just a second on to Bunker. I'm going to go with Regal Reserve as well. I'm actually going to go 2-0.
2-0?
I think they'll take it pretty swiftly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd go 2-0
there was nothing about Obey that impressed me last week.
No.
Going in against Rated R as well, I mean,
I think
it's one of those. Is it just a matchup? Is it just the pace of Rated R that caught them off guard? Or do you think I mean, last season they did beat Regal, if I remember rightly. Am I making that up?
You may be. No.
Obey, definitely. I think they did.
I don't know. We're going to have to go back on that one.
They beat somebody. Anyway, this is how we're going to run things.
They beat Radar a few times.
Yes, I know. I mean, everybody beat everybody last season. It was really hard to actually keep up with at times.
That's very true.
We are going to be moving on to Bunker first, then District, then, of course, Asylum. I think this is over in 2. And I think we're swiftly moving on to the big game of the night between Rated R and EU's finest. I was trying to label that one as Marsh against his old team. I mean, we're going to try and push that storyline.
I think we can push that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to push that.
Yep. I I think this is going to be a good one. I agree. I think 2-0 is on the cards here. But quite honestly, if we do get to see Asylum, I'm looking forward to it because a map 3 between these two teams is always going to be a good one.
And, you know, Bunga is one of those maps that can be a little bit slower at times. We're looking for that top control, of course, who can really garner and use that the best they can. That's what's really going to come down to. And I just, you look at Regal, and I think that they're better of a team in that respect. OB Alliance, yes, okay, they did cruise through the qualifier to get themselves back into the league, but after 1 week, it's looking pretty slow for them. Can they bounce back here, though, against Regal? Haven't obviously played this one against each other this season. Those stats will fill in as we do go on, but Regal Reserve, can they get back to winning ways? Can OB stop themselves from going 0-2 as well? Both these two teams lost their first game, so they will be heading into week number 3. At least one of them 0-2, and that's not a position you want to be in whatsoever. Let's get into it, bro. Oh, you know what we want to show very, very quickly, though?
What do we want to show very,
very
quickly?
We want to show our new thing, don't we? Look at this.
Yes, we do.
Oh, my word. Shout out to Matt. Look at that.
Yeah, of course.
All the stats.
They're the stats for both teams.
I give you one of them. I do so much.
we'll get to that a little bit later, but they are the stats for both teams.
I got too excited.
From the league so far, right? So we can keep an eye on how players are performing. Are they performing up to standard, worse than usual, that kind of thing. We'll throw it into the broadcast here and there.
I'm leaving it under your control, by the way.
That's fine. I think that's a good idea after what we've just seen.
Big gunfight going on up top, though. OB are going to be the ones taking control, but it is going to be Regal trying to fight back over towards the top side. So, of course, here trying to put shots down. He is just about going to help out his teammate, picking up Ashen's. So this fight up top has been lingering on, but it is OB with actual control of B. I mean, everyone wanting to get control of a top bunker is, of course, the thing that does make sense here.
Yep, I liked what I saw from OB. Very, very aggressive on that B hill and wanted to get involved in that fight.
Yep.
And they've got away with a lot of map control for it. They were able to help Breaker as well down here, contest B. And all things considered, yeah, OB looking to have the better initial there. Just on board with Zorkos. He's on 2 eliminations already in this round. Looking to make it maybe a couple more as he's looking to collapse here on B. TJ's going to find a kill here. Zorkos trying to get a bit of damage down.
Zorkos
should be able to get this. This is a 2v1 situation. Zorkos got to be very, very careful here. Waiting for a bit of backup. Going to climb the ladder here. Oh. Not something you usually see, and that's why, because you can very, very easily get down as you're climbing up. OB looking to be able to clean up.
Good stuff by OB. They are going to get a hold of B. The win condition belongs to them as well. Just 1 minute now. If they can hold this one down, still a tight game. Regal Reserve now, though. We'll be looking for up-top control. I would expect maybe the overextension to possibly come in. There's 3 members of OB Alliance camped in and around B. This is going to be a hard one for them to break here if you are Regal.
Yep.
Posturing towards A, though.
Yeah, just having a look at Cougars. Trying to make his way over. You've got to be careful, though, because you see Breaker sat down here on this back bag. He's got an angle straight across this open ground, so if Cougars does decide to push, that's going to be a very, very difficult one. Instead, the action is going to be down at this B hill area.
Now going for B, but it is actually going to be kill coming in from Ashen's. He's going to be dropped by Physics. He was trying his best to get back in here. That's a couple of kills for Physics now. Getting things going. Are they going to try and capture B? They actually have to get all 3, and that's a tough place to be in. Breaker influencing around here. He may have not found many kills, but he may just be able to slow down Regal Reserve enough before they can make this push over towards A. B has been captured. Cougars and Co now going for the late push over towards A. Here comes the domination potential. The fights need to be won by OB Alliance here. They have been dropped, but the points were still ticking. They need to get inside there quickly. Cougars is down. Physics, what can you do? Not very much. He's already dead. That should now be the round to OB Alliance as they just about hold on here through.
They did indeed. There was a member of OB over at B hill as well, which meant that Regal couldn't threaten all of their members over towards that OB home hill. That said, though, it was close. A couple of kills either way, and that could have been Regal coming out. But no, good defense by OB there. They held strong.
Did what they needed. I think having Breaker in that position as well, where you can watch the cross from up top bunker, and you can, of course, watch the cross from B. It's a good place to be in. You just slowed them down. You didn't pick anything up, but it means they have to drop back in the cover. They have to heal up before they can make this push. So
that's it. It's just such a good stronghold there. Yeah. And if anyone's trying to loop through Lookout around the top as well, very easy just to back up, come around, and make sure no one's flanking around as well. Cog loadout going to be placed. That's just throwing some flashbangs probably into the hands of one of the Cog team members there.
Something we don't see too often. Not in early rounds anyway, I would say.
You see it a bit more on the NA side of things.
Yeah.
But in these initials, these early initials, it's not a bad thing to have an extra flashbang.
I mean, I think when you look at a map like Bunker, you know, that initial control very, very important.
Yep.
Maybe it's down to that when it comes to these flashes to help you get a hold of B a little bit quicker. Physics is inside half of a Lancer clip here. And he's going to try and push up and help Zorkos, who may need it against TJ, who was influential for this OBA team last year. Last year? Yeah, still. I'm still right. I keep saying last year, and it's still right. I'm technically wrong, but I'm technically right as TJ finds 2. Doing everything right himself here now. Push going to come in here. In front. Oh, nicely done. Fractures is then dropped. Can he bid Zorkos into this one? Not quite. Fractures will just about clean TJ up, but the damage was already done from him. B is the only thing that Regal Reserve have.
Yeah, and they've not got... I mean, they were basically a one shot away from losing that as well, so... Good work by TJ just to hold off such an aggressive push by Regal.
He's a very good player.
Yeah, honestly, that's 2 rounds in a row he's done that as well. Baited Regal into that small chokehold. It's very, very difficult to get up there. There's Lancer in the back from up top as well, and it just makes very, very hard life for Regal Reserve there. TJ doing well once again. As you said, one of those players that we've been watching. We watched him through the full quarter. Very, very good. We had questions whether he'd continue that, and he did last week. This week seems to be the case as well so far.
Well, here we go. OB Alliance have given up A, but that means they will now commit to B. There's a flash out from Fractures. Might just slow things down. TJ answers back with one of his own, though. Here comes another from Regal, trying to slow the push down, but here goes TJ once again. Does have company as well. Zorkos is going to find the first one. Rita will find another himself, but surprise, TJ is behind you, finds one. Can he find the second? Doesn't need to. His teammates clean up, and they will get a hold of B. This should be a win condition for OB Alliance. They will not be too far away once they get a hold of B here, about a minute or so. Good move over by OB Alliance there. I liked what they were doing. They got a hold of A and C. They sat up top, and as soon as Regal have to commit numbers to their home hill, they then just rotate to B and win the gunfights.
Yeah, perfect play really, and better from OB than we saw last week. That's for sure. I'm liking this early days. That said, it's now on Regal Reserve to make the play, and they've got to make their way over to B Hill. That looks like they're trying to flash their way through now. In fact, that was an Obey flash grenade. Just stopping the push for a second or two. Zorkos gets flashed. Cougars jumps up. Very, very aggressive here.
Rita's going to go down to J-Rage as well. The thing is, here though, if you are Regal Reserve, you need B and maybe a little bit more as well. J-Rage is going to go down. Swarm win condition still there. Once they capture B, I think it will still be there as well. It will be very, very close. It's still going to be that. So Obey, once again, will be happy on a 1 cap, but they're actually going for the home hill of Regal Reserve. Nicely moved over, even if this is just a distraction technique. Thing is, though, everybody at C needs to stay alive if you are Obey Alliance. Let's go on board with them. It will take something special from Regal to break this one once again. Zorkos will go down. That's another ground-out round coming in for Obey Alliance, who hold on once again. Really good work by them. Throwing a cat amongst the pigeons here for her. I was expecting a fast start from Regal, but Obey Alliance, too good.
It's the openings, honestly. Obey are just having so much, not luck, so much success in these openings. It's definitely not luck at all. It's just aggressive play. We saw J-Rage flying basically across that top side, straight towards Zorkos. Zorkos backed out, didn't want that fight whatsoever. And then on the bottom side, TJ just absorbing so much pressure. It's very, very difficult for Regal to get a foothold in that opening segment. And once you've got that hold on this map, you said it suits the team that can really hold the center line, right? Well, Obey are getting that center line pretty much every time so far. Yep. Well, every time so far. And now it's up to Regal to respond. Torpbo going to be placed down at the bunker. This mixes things up a little bit.
Yes, it does indeed. We like to see that. And that is probably going to make... I mean, I say, you know, more attention over towards the bunker side because that Torpbo's there, but there's been quite a lot of attention there anyway, in fairness. It has to be said.
Yep. TJ
will get a hold of the marker for Obey. What can Regal do to counteract this one? They are the first ones there, but they are flashed, can't see. We're going to have to back on down. Cougars is going to be the one getting a hold of the Torpbo. So that might help Regal Reserve get back into this game. He gets out of dodge as well while he's at it. Zorkos, though, will suffer for that. What are you doing, Fru? Are we checking anything else
I tried to jump to Cougars, but I brought up the stats instead.
Ah, you fool.
Wrong page. Wrong page. I'll get used to it. Oh, dear.
I thought we were going to try and tell a story with this new stat system we have.
Yeah, look at the amount of Cougars Torpbo kills we've got now. Sadly not. It was just the wrong button. Oh, yeah. I was trying to see if we get any nice Torpbo kills, but...
Sorry, he's dead.
He's very dead. He got pushed down very, very quickly and wasn't able to get anything from that.
Once again, though, OB Alliance, the ones with the initials. Now I'm going to be able to get a hold of A and B. Of course, A being their home hill, and Regal Reserve are going to have to go back to the drawing board here. Things not really working out for them whatsoever. Physics now trying to gather information for his team, figure out where everybody is on OB so they can try and make a push. Arena down to no lives remaining already.
Yep.
There's still a couple more rounds to go.
That's kind of worrying if you're a Regal Reserve. I mentioned it in the pre-game. Regal Reserve, they have to watch out for their lives because last time around they got slaughtered. They honestly did. EU's Finest had a lot of kills on them. They had by far the most deaths of all 4 teams last week. And it seems to be the case this week as well. TJ, beautiful kill on Cougars. Doesn't manage to get his second. Physics shuts him down. Reader's going to get this decap. Got to play very, very safe. But the points, they're already there for Obey.
Win condition is actually going to go back towards Regal Reserve as far as I'm aware. If it does disappear, yep, it will go to Regal, but they will have to hold on to this pretty much the whole time here. Yeah. I don't think they can really let it go. I think even if they lost this 2-cap for a second, it will only take 1 for Obey Alliance to win it.
I don't think they're holding a strong enough setup here either. This is quite an easy push straight up to the top here for Obey, and you should be making it a lot more difficult, right? Looks like this fight is going to go down, though, at A Hill. You saw the B push come through from Obey, so this is a nice reaction. If they can get the kill on J Rage, this would be big. Let's see what Jay can do. Trying to get his big shot off. Doesn't manage to get the first one. Whiffed a little bit. Cog team going to win. Looks like they're winning that B fight as well.
That's it. That's done and dusted. A should be captured. There's one guy left to beat. It's going to be Ashens, who is actually going to pick up one on Arita. So he's gone for the rest of the round, but it will not matter. That one comes in for Regal Reserve. I really like that heads-up play coming out of Regal.
Yep, much
pushing
better.
over towards the home hill when they know the B push is inevitably going to have to come through. And it's just, you know, you are being the aggressor there. You are being the reactive one. Sorry, you're being the proactive one, I should say.
Yep.
Obey Alliance haven't reacted, not able to react quick enough. 2-1 to them now. Regal Reserve eventually getting on the board here, and you know they got a hold of that talk at the beginning of the round as well. Wouldn't be able to do anything with it, but if they can do that once more, they should be able to tie this up at the halfway point.
Yeah, that extra cog loadout coming in, helping them get that bow out. Although, yeah, as you said, not much used, and a flashbang going down both sides now. So we'll see how these grenades are used as we go into this next round. I mean, head-to-head matchup, Ashens. He's looking pretty good so far. Zorkos, he's been a bit reactive, to be honest with you, so far. Let's have a look at this opening fight, see how these players play it out.
Well, TJ will have a hold on that mark, so once again, where does that go? And I imagine it'll probably go towards B, but either way, Ashens is in prime position to try and get a hold of this talkbow if he can. Shot's going to go in, though. He is going to be dropped. Cougars and Zorkos hunting. Doing well to gain control of this area as well. The flash comes through, but the talk is already in his hands.
Yep.
Going to try and get this one out. He will do so by the looks of things as well. Obey lose control of up top because the talkbow is there. They lose the talkbow. And nobody getting a hold of B quite yet. Looking like it may well be Regal Reserve as Obey have to back off, have to respect that talkbow.
Yep, they have to. I think Zorkos just going to rotate this round. For me, he needs to be finding one of these high ground positions. Perhaps the tower, the lookout tower.
Makes sense.
Or top mid, if you can get control of this. There isn't anyone up here from Obey just yet, but Zorkos, he doesn't really know that. Doesn't have the luxury of that X-ray vision. So didn't know he could push up.
I think I would like this position to be held rather than up top towards B. I think this is a lot more effective when you're a bunker. You can go in so many different directions. You can get to so many different places on the map a lot quicker as well. Shot's going to go through, not going to be able to land it. Does he have any support from the rest of his team? He does seem to have one with him on his left-hand side. That will be Reader, who is having to play passive as well. This is a COG team win condition, though. Regal Reserve looking to get another one on the board. This would be 2 in a row. Zorkos taking his time with this, which is fine. They're in the winning position here. He does not need to force this issue. Breaker, watch your head. Isn't going to catch anything here. The push is going to come in towards B as well, but most of this talk has been wasted. TJ found a kill as well while he's at it, so Obey making the push over towards B. They're going to get a hold of it as well. Yep,
I like this rotation from Zorkos, bringing the talk bow up on top of the hill. You should be able to ping a couple of people here if he's quick, but he needs to realistically get himself over the top. Isn't able to hit that, and honestly, so far
there's been some opportunities for him, it has to be said.
Not fantastic. Needs to go back to the firing range and practice with this one a little bit. Let's see if he can make good on his next shot. That's the one problem with the talk bow. It's such long charge up times,
and you can really hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it coming. If you're not in a good position, or if you're not catching people off guard, you're going to be finding a kill pretty difficult, to be quite honest with you.
Well, Zorkos, now what can I do with this talk bow? I think rightfully so through with one off him. It hasn't been great viewing.
Pushed. No, it hasn't.
Push coming in up top here from Mobile Alliance, though. They will get control of that. They have control of B. The fight over towards A as well. Oh, over towards B, sorry, is going to go in their favour.
Just get that kill just as we miss.
Classic.
Yeah, as soon as we go off him. Anyway. That's 1 for 4, so
It's
we'll come back to you later.
It's not the worst effort in the world. If we went 0 for 5, then we would have been questioning it. But the other tugboat on the other side of things has been taken out by Obey, who do have this win condition here. It will just about be in their favour, though. Here we go. Can J-Rage do better with it? Not able to land the first as Cougars does actually land his shots with the shotgun. Having to back off B, though. Threat of the tugboat. Here comes the push up top as well. Not going to do anything there, but looking over towards A, it is going to be Obey Alliance having to make this push, but they have to decap B as well. 1 is going to be enough for Regal Reserve. They are going to be able to tie this up at 2-2. A little bit late there for Obey Alliance.
Yeah, just a little bit late. I think Zorkos did a lot to hold them off with that torpedo. Just the threat of it was enough. So Obey didn't really make any bold pushes there.
Although I would say if you're Obey, maybe don't be worried about that threat so much.
It's it's easy to say that when you're sitting behind cover.
Yeah,
but
very true.
when you're running towards it, it's a lot more difficult to dodge. And honestly, sometimes you have a few bad shots. The first time he's picked it up, next round may be different. Got to be careful.
You'd have hit some of them.
I'd have hit all of them, not just some of them. Basically, modern day Robin Hood. That's what.
I mean, there's so many other good, better options you could have went with. Legolas?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know we're down south here.
I'm not very elf-like, though. That's the difference.
You're tall.
Yeah, it's about as far as the similarities go.
What would the other similarities be? I don't. What the years?
Blonde.
Blonde. They're not
well
all blonde.
spoken.
They're not all blonde. Have you watched Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, most.
Come on, mate.
Can't ride a horse.
I don't know if that's mutually exclusive to elves.
Don't live in a forest.
Oh god, this conversation's went on far too long. Let me save us with some casting.
Go on then.
Cougars hasn't got a hold of the top ball once again. What can he do with it? Maybe a little bit better.
Well, he's got it out this time.
This time round, Cougars is going to get out with it. Zorkot's got some downs, as did Rita. Rita's done well, actually.
Oh,
hello. Is he going to get caught now? No, he's got the top ball. Surely he's not going to win that fight. As Saki just about gets a hold of it. Surprise, surprise. He's waiting on the corner. Marks are in hand as well. Oh god, you're in trouble.
And run.
Has to back out, but he does not have any backup, and Saki should be dead. That will be somehow the round to Regal Reserve. Surely not going to happen. Obey just get away off the break. Rita trying to get something done, having a better second half already after his miserable first half. Look at all the kills though. They're coming in for Obey Alliance yet. Cougars having to stay alive to prevent the elimination.
You say that he's running towards 4, so perhaps just trying to catch someone off guard here.
Oh god, these respawn timers are not looking good either. Cougars, you need to stay alive for a little bit longer, buddy.
Nice flashbang there. Just gets shot in the back though. Isn't able to do much there. Just run away in that situation. Quite honestly, maybe loop round, try and get the D hill as they're trying to push across to B or E. That said, he's done enough for his team to come back on board.
Yeah, he stayed alive.
And if you got to look at the points as well.
Yep.
We've got double the points here for Regal.
Win condition not up. I think it will belong to Obey Alliance. There's enough time for them to catch up there with that 2 cap in there. Oh, actually stretching this towards F. That's a 3-man push towards the back. Obey Alliance getting very aggressive here. Kills going in their favour of both 2 teams though. Drops coming in. Regal Fractures will clean up Saki though.
Yeah.
Zorkos will back on down. They'll rotate back over towards E. But do they have the numbers?
If you Zorkos,
yeah, J-Rage is all on his own here.
You take this fight, definitely. So it's kind of interesting there. Both teams swap their home hills. You can see on the minimap at the top right there, the Cog home hill is in Swarm's favour, and likewise, Swarm's in Cog's. But because there is that member of Obey off the respawn, going to trade back out in just a second. So both teams doing all right. This Torpo going to go back over to Zorkos. Second time for him as well. They get a chance to use this. 30 seconds on the clock for Cog right now. Regal Reserve looking to defend this airfield. If Fractures can get here in time, he should have a very, very good angle on this fight. He just needs his team to back off. Oh, hello, though. Ashens pops up.
Him out.
That's a nice knife.
Oh, good disgusting stuff from Fractures. You feel as if Ashens could have cleaned that one up, but could that be the nail in the coffin for this round? Could Regal Reserve be taking a lead for the very first time? It's looking that way, potentially. J-Rage pinned back. Takes a meaty shot with the shotgun as well. He's going to drop down. That's 3-2. Good play by Regal Reserve. This is a lot better, flexing their muscles a bit here now. Fruit.
Yep, 100%. They've definitely picked up. First 2 rounds were not very good at all for them, but the second half definitely looking a lot better. Since the Torpo's gone down, to be quite honest, they've looked a lot better. I think it's given them a bit of something to fight for in that middle bunker. It just means that they have to fight for it, so they're having to work a way around it, and they're not just letting Obey push across that middle. It's honestly made a little bit of a difference here. Incendiary's going to be half, 60 seconds on those. Looks like the drop shot being placed now in the middle down at that artillery drop. This is going to mix things up quite substantially, as now the teams, they really do have to split their resources. Let's have a look at this minimap. See how the teams are going to split this up. Looks pretty even so far. Regal just sending one through that incendiary. No surprise there. 2 apiece, though, down at this artillery fire.
Like to go down artillery, as you said, and there's plenty of members of Regal Reserve here, actually. There's a lot of you. Fracture's going to be the first one to go down. He will be picked back up. That's not a great incend. Zolkos, his physics is sent to the Shadow Realm on his own teammate. Drop shot picked up by Ashens, though. That's what Obey Alliance have come here for. That's why Regal Reserve were here in numbers 2. Now the rotation over towards E comes in. Well equipped, well armed. Can they get it done this time around? The kills flowing in their favour here for Obey now. They now have a hold of the tugboat. They have a hold of the drop shot. Everything is looking hunky-dory if you're Obey Alliance here. D is eventually captured by Regal, who are just about getting points on the board now, but Obey Alliance, as said, have all the toys to play with.
That they do. They should really be able to hold this almost all the way through with these 2 weapons. Ideally, you know, you come out with one of them. Best case scenario, you come out with 2, and that was such a good rotations by Ashens to get that drop shot around to the torp bow so quickly that Regal didn't have time to get in there and basically grab that one, extract that one. Good shot grenade there, stopping the push on F as well. See it just at the bottom of the staircase, and this is that choke point that I was mentioning earlier. It's so difficult to push up through there because you can just close it off with one weapon, one person. Stops an entire team. Now Reader trying to push up, drop shot comes out.
He's dead.
Saki charging up that torp bow as well.
Not gonna hit anything over there, Saki. There's nobody. Oh no, there is somebody there. They're just hidden. Couldn't even see him with the outline.
Yeah, so Zorkos just hiding around the back. Obviously, making it pretty difficult here for
I mean,
Regal
the thing
Reserve.
is, for Regal, they have to respect everything that Obey have to play with. If you lose the initial on both sides of the map here, you're in a really tough spot. Ashens now, is he going to bring out the drop shot? Yes, he is. He's baited into using that one, so that one's now gone as well. So that should be the drop shot no longer available. Ashens is not going to be able to get away either. Rita will drop him, pushes out to try and find the kill as well. Will eventually find it. Will he find anything else? Not much, but the respawn queue. He has been captured by Regal Reserve, though. The damage is done, but speaking of damage done, Obey Alliance already have enough points in the board to win off 1 hill. They just need to hold F now.
New drop shot just coming back up. This should be straight into the hands.
That should be.
But there goes the headshot on the torp though, actually. Saki managed to get that kill. Rita just coming out of spawn. Nothing exciting there. Let's jump down to the B hill, see what's going on here. Zorkos has those incendiaries. Maybe better use of them this time if you can hit Ashens here.
Catch. Gets them.
Caught him indeed. That's much better now. And now Regal should be able to at least try this push, if not make it the way up. Cougar's going to be the first one in.
J-Rage probably just going to drop back to try and get as much fire down without dying. A distraction tactic is enough to get a hold of E, and Zolkos not quite there in time. That should be the round Obey Alliance. Once again, they have to grind it out with a 1 hill hold, but they do grind it out. Grind it out, I should say. That is the important thing. 3-3. Who's doing the business here? Let's have a look.
Let's have a quick look. Looks to be TJ on the Obey front at least. On the other side, Reader, he's picked it up. He was dead bottom before and now leading the way. But quite honestly, those they're pretty even scores. 1 round can change that, 500 points or so. On the Obey side, though, Breaker just... I mean, he's holding the position, right? That's the thing. He's holding the position, but points-wise, very, very low. And this is the difficulty between what we mentioned earlier, between the statistical MVP and actually their impact.
Yeah.
Because the stats don't always tell the full truth.
Yep.
Breaker
100%.
is a very good example of this now.
So Embar was put down, as far as I'm aware, on the side of Obey. That's right. There you go. Put down on radar. Saki will get a hold of that one.
Let's see where he's taking this one. Looks like he's going to be taking it straight towards that drop shot. Looking for another head. Isn't able to get anything just yet. Things slow down.
We've seen some good play with the Embar last week. And we see this once again. It's a big fight. Embar used to hold the drop shot. Did anybody get a hold of the talk ball yet? I don't think
no one's got anything apart from this Embar.
Can't quite see the top of the head there. Zolkos is going to get the kill on Ashens, though. That might open things up. Physics, watch your head. Not able to land anything with the first bullet, but the threat is still here, which is stopping them pushing. But Fractures is going to find TJ. These kills coming in the favour, just about, of Regal Reserve.
Yep, definitely so. Saki just not able to find anything here.
It's been hard, hasn't it? He's been pinned down by Physics as well. Now he's 3v1. He will do very well to find anything here.
Yep, Zorkos able to get the drop shot out. Let's have a look what's going on up here. Fractures did go down for a second, but it looks to be a 2v2. Reader gonna hold the angle. He's gonna get pushed here, trying to fight it out. Isn't able to. Cougar's backing him up. Does get the down. 2 downs now. Jade Rage falls. TJ's in the middle. Gonna push on Zorkos. He's able to get the up A. Doesn't kill Fractures. Almost kills him, but
Nicely
Fractures
done.
able to dodge that one. And there's the kill. Obey Alliance off spawn, but now look at the side of Regal Reserve. Drop shot in hand, torque bow in hand. They got that point lead just about as well, but the hill lead is the most important thing, and now the push comes on. F-Hill looks to be the plate. Saki going to lead that charge. Remember, he was the one with the M-bar in hand. Doesn't have it anymore. Swapped out for that Markser. Another incendiary, but not able to block it off this time. That's why the shot grenade in that situation is a bit of a better choice, but you know, you work with what you've got, and they had incendiaries at this point.
Just zone control with that shock is so important, but
Question
the
for me
incend
is,
not able to land.
where's this drop shot? Let's find Zorkos. Zorkos hiding. I think they've got eyes on him.
Oh, here we go. The push comes through. Do they know Zorkos is there? No, they don't. That's one going to land in there. He's not going to find anything, and he will get wiped out as well. That's not good. If you're Regal Reserve or Big getting aggressive, they have 2 hills. They
Might
may well
have
have a
3 in a
third
second.
here, actually.
Yeah.
Looking over towards E, that one.
Regal just caught out in no man's land, really. Cougar's trying to do his best with his torque bow. There is a deny over at that E hill, but this looks to be going in the way of Obey. Cougar's in another bad spot. Isn't able to get anything
bad
there.
spot. He goes down. They will keep a hold of F, though, but the win conditions still with Obey Alliance, although there's plenty of time left in this round. That's the thing.
There is a lot of
team
time.
really captured anything early on,
And it's
so
pretty close.
Yep, it's really close.
Breaker does have that new M-bar, though. So that's something we should keep an eye out. Is up in this tower as well, so. Here's the headshot. There we go. Physics falls. Looking for a second. Is he able to get it? No. Haircut. As he comes in, just whiffs that second shot, but very, very close. Already doing a lot more work than Breaker, but than Saki, sorry. Given easier shots.
Yeah, it was one of those that you still got to hit it, though.
You do hit it, and he hit it well.
Yep.
One more shot left in that M-bar.
That's now allowed his team to get hold of this drop shot as well. Zorkos, be careful where you're standing. Shot's going to come in here from TJ up top, who still is getting a hold of E from Obey Alliance. You have all the toys they could possibly want. Physics nearly turns and burns. Not able to get it done. Here comes the push over towards E. TJ flashed up. He is going to be able to push and get in close proximity. Just trying to decap if he can. Does so. Can he find the kill as well? Good first shot. Not quite enough though. Physics will go down.
So close.
Very nicely done by Obey Alliance in the end. 4-3 now. Can Regal Reserve pull out 2 in a row? Obey going to go 1-0 up.
I mean, it's looking like Obey. They've been the aggressors. They've been the better team throughout this game so far. It's their central fights. They just seem to be able to get those picks and open up those fights. And when they're on the back foot, they can absorb the pressure. When Regal are on the back foot, they seem to crumble a little bit more.
Yeah.
They give a lot more up when they're behind. Let's see what happens here on the placement side of things. The incendiaries are locked out. That M-bar is going to get locked out as well. Just 1 round apiece.
Yeah, the M-bar was influencing, wasn't it? As was the incender. So let's see. With less to play with over towards this drop shot, who gets a hold of it with just the sticks and stones of Gears of War, the Lancer and the Nasher.
Regal with a slight advantage here as they've opted not to cut their home hill. Obey have this time around, so if this becomes a stalemate, it means Obey in a better position here, but Cougars opens up with that person advantage now. It seems like Regal
They've got a hold
managed
of
to find the kill. Yep.
Yep, they've got a hold of the torque bore as well.
Got to be careful not to lose ahead to this Markser though. This is still very, very strong. There's the headshot coming in. Reader dies.
Dead as a doorknob. He may have got it around the corner enough though for his teammates to pick this one up. Yes, he has. Cougars gets a hold of it. Gonna have to try and get out though. He is gonna have to back on down. A lot of aggression coming in from Ashens. Physics is there as a bodyguard to try and help him out. Does find the kill as well. They will rotate back. They will get a hold of D. So they do sacrifice 40 points or so.
And it's a big sacrifice that.
Yeah.
If you're not able to claw it back.
And if you're Regal Reserve,
You've
yes,
now
okay,
gotta,
you've got the weapons, but what can you do with them?
Yeah, you got to get a kill essentially. You got to at least hold this for 40 seconds to make it worthwhile, and also have the weapons at the end, right? And the map control. So let's see how they play this. It looks like Physics in a bit of a sticky spot here. Obey just pushing up on artillery. Zorkos coming to support with that torque bow. Cougar's just hiding. He has that drop shot in hand, right? So
yep,
perhaps a double kill.
Oh
No!
He's messed
fluffed
it up.
the shot.
He's fluffed it up completely. Now he's going to get pushed by J-Rage as well. Zorkos will find a kill onto TJ. J-Rage in a really good spot. He is going to get peppered up, but he will have the back on down. Nicely done by Regal, though, trying to get back into this one.
I mean, you say that, but Obey, they've managed to decap and cap E-Hill in the front of a drop shot and a torp bow.
The shots coming in as well. Physics is dropped with the pistol. Good work by J-Rage. Just sponges up that drop shot from Cougars as well, not quite landing. And as we said, Cougars has worked with the...
That was nicely played, and
now
TJ should die.
Hasn't been great, but there you go. This is going to be Regal Reserve getting a hold of E once again. Win condition will be in their favour. 70 seconds and counting until they win this round to tie things up and send us to round number 9.
It would be good in our first game. 11 seconds till that drop shot spawns.
Oh, you can see
this is where the fight's going to be next, yep.
Obey have to get going. Here comes Saki.
It's a big kill.
Catches him out. It's just about to come up as well. Ready for the ammo. Just going to get a hold of it if he can. He will get a hold of it as well.
Yeah, Zorkos was just firing down with that torp bow as well while the drop shot came up, so...
I've got a feel we're going to a round number 9 here, but look at the push coming in from Obey. Can they land any meaty shots in? This push is going to be so difficult.
Especially with Physics just aiming down. I think they might have backed off. Oh no, they're still there, still hiding.
Oh, here they come. Physics now has been left all alone, but looking over towards
Problem is, we're
seeing
E-Hill get decapped. There's a 3v2 up there. Cougars dies, and that's not ideal at all. They switched to a swarm win condition here.
Regal, what are you doing with this? Oh, there you go. That's what they're doing. Zorkos has already pushed on through.
This is a huge 1v1 now. Breaker.
Massive. Oh, Breaker's going to get dropped so fast.
Ashen's now the next one in.
Don't think he's got anything left in the talk board as well. That's a nice shot landed, though. Can he find Ashens as well? Can this be all Zorkos? He does get a little bit of help from the rest of his team, but the push is going to come through. I don't think it's going to be enough either. Regal Reserve with D and also getting a hold of E. Really well played. Thereby, the boys on Regal Reserve, we will go to a round number 9.
Yeah, it looked like it was all over basically when they lost hold of that E-Hill, but a couple of clutch shots there from Zorkos with that torque bow, and a nice play, honestly, by the whole of Regal Reserve to retake that E-Hill, go straight over to that extension, get the home hill as well. I like what I saw there from Regal, and now, yep, round 9, all to play for. That incendiary back on the board, the M-bar back on the board as well, and now Regal Reserve, they get their last chance to place something down. Looks like it's going to be the upgrade. The shot grenade gets placed down. That's going to be huge in this fight, quite honestly.
Yep. It's going to be a big one. And
what's the reply?
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's not much else you can do if you are Obey Alliance. Other than that, it's like when you commit everything to all these weapons so early on as well, it sort of leaves you with less to play with later on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you are Regal Reserve, it works out for you. I would argue they have the better setup here, based on how they've been doing with these weapons as well. Honestly, Obey haven't impressed me too much, but neither Regal. I think both these two teams have been somewhat suspect with these power weapons as Cougars gets out with the drop shot, but the
torque bow went in the hands of Obey.
Belongs to Obey as they send 3 people up top bunker. They're putting a lot into that.
Advantage Obey now. They opted to get more points off that home hill. Regal this time they noticed that, so they managed to get that out. Drop shot coming down.
Yeah, they've been letting Regal get a hold of the drop shot because they've been doing absolutely nothing with it for him.
Yep, it's not been a good performance, quite honestly. Breaker charging up. Let's jump on board with him. Let's see if we can hit anything. Nice headshot last time we had this weapon. There is an extension. This could be dangerous, actually, from Obey. The cap's coming around them. They've got to decide to push somewhere. It looks like the D-hill going to be backed off from Regal.
They have
just
to
get
do
the decap.
They have to.
Yeah. It's good from Regal just to get the decap, and now this should even the points up in about 20 seconds ago. Fractures does get a kill as well, a 1v1 kill. That was on the push towards F. So things will settle down.
Regal Reserve, the ones with control of this round and control of the map as well. This moment in time, I think they do still have 1 drop shot left. I've definitely seen 1 pop off. But if you are Obey Alliance, have you got much to play with? You do have the talk bow, you do have the M-bar.
So let's have a look where they all are, shall we?
You do have the tools to try and break this, but it's going to come down.
Hey, look.
Yeah, Saki now has the M-bar as well. M-bars. Yeah. Alright, so if you're Obey, it's not quite done yet. Saki making the push over. How long have we got left on the respawn for the drop shot?
30 seconds.
30 seconds or so, so maybe setting up for something to do with that. But another 30 seconds or so, you're putting yourself in the danger zone. Ashens is now going to make the push over towards E. The drop shot's still not coming out, but he has decapped. Just maybe slowed this one down. There's the drop shot, though. Cougars will find Saki, who had that M bar crucially as well.
Cougar's got to keep his life now, though. Trading that is... You got 30 seconds till that drop shot comes up. If you wait like 3 seconds, you got a 2v1 here, but still, the 2v1 does come through. Reader managed to make the most of that.
Overextension in D as well. If they can get on E pretty quickly here, this is looking good for Regal. Zorkos is going to be dropped. Good stuff by Fractures and Regal. Reader, though, they will just about get rid of J-Rage. But he's distracted enough for the rest of these teams to now push up over towards E. Breaker taking a couple of bullets as TJ
How is
does.
Physics just...
I mean, Cougars, I think he was down. And Physics is being killed by TJ as well. Obey.
This 2v1 is something that... They got to make a way to push, right? They got to find something here.
They've got to do something. They've got the numbers. They're waiting maybe on TJ coming over. That could be it. Breaker drops down into E. Here comes the drop shot. A lot more successful this time. Fractures goes down. OB Alliance, though, not in a great spot, it has to be said. If you look towards D, yes, they have to go and get that, but that's going to distract away from this middle control. It's a COG team win condition. I feel as if that may change. No, it isn't. It's a 1 cap for Regal Reserve. That's all they need.
The question is what do they do with it? Are they going to try and defend that home? It looks like they're pushing out. Looks like they're going to split here and try and get hold.
Cougars no lives remaining, neither does TJ.
That's true. That's very true. Drop shot coming in though. That's big. Isn't able to connect anything. Big one shot here from Physics. Zorkos does get taken out by the M-bar, and now Physics doing his best. This decap might have been enough. TJ gets another kill though. Let's have a look at Airfield. What's going on over here?
Breaker trying to make the push, but the problem is that Regal are just coming up the spawn. You got one big push out of you here, Obey Alliance. You need to get something going soon though. Physics is going to back on down. That shot with the torque not quite there, but here comes Obey. Can they start winning the gunfights? No, they cannot. Breaker and Saki go down, as does everybody else in Obey Alliance. Physics and Zorkos just clean up shop when they need to, and Regal Reserve will take map number 1, 5-4. Good game to kick things off here, Fruit.
That was a fantastic game to kick things off, and what a comeback from Regal Reserve. It looked to be Obey all the way through and through for those, definitely the first 2 rounds, and when they were on map point, Regal were tested, but in the end, they do come through. The Krampus skin MVP going through to TJ, but not enough. Regal Reserve do take it.
No, not enough in the end. Yeah, Regal were... I don't know. It was very back and forth though. I felt like every single round sort of went down to the wire. It was really, really close game, and I think if you're Obey, you're super disappointed with that. That's probably the worst way to lose. I feel as if I'd rather get like butchered for like 6 rounds and just lose like 5-1 or something.
Just get it over with. Move on to the next map.
Oh, well, okay, well clearly not as good, but they're very, very close in there, and it wasn't, as I thought. I did think Regal would win it, but I thought it would be maybe a little bit more comfortable than that. Obey, at least challenging there. So we are going to go over towards the next map, which I do believe is District. I try to remember.
Nailed it.
And they will be super disappointed with that result. Yes. I feel that's one of those that will tilt you, I think, because they had the power weapons for a second, but I mean it was backwards and forwards that last round. A couple of the rounds came down the wire, and there were backwards and forwards, and people who had control lost it too easily. And I want to go out and say that it was a good game, but maybe not the best player from either 2 teams.
I would totally agree with that. I don't think either team looked fantastic. No. I thought Obey looked a lot better than last week. I'll put it that way.
I mean, yeah.
That's a positive they can take out of it. And Regal, even though they were making some mistakes, they weren't looking fantastic, did manage to scrap it out and manage to come through. That last round, honestly, Obey had the best opening strat out of the 2 teams. They knew that they could get the point lead, they could get that M-bar, they could get that torque bow out, and they had the M-bar coming up on that 75-second respawn. So they had a very, very good opening strategy. They just weren't able to get any kills with the M-bar or the torque bow early on, weren't able to capitalize. And, a couple of little drop shot kills here and there from Cougars as he pushed through that mid, opened up that map, and that was it, right? That was the play, really, that shut down that double M-bar play. In the end, tipped the table for Regal Reserve.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get anything done. Obey. They have the tools to do so, but couldn't quite close it out. I said we are going to move on to District in just a second. I think this is 2-0 now. I think you lose in that fashion as well. It's never a good feeling. I mean, I know as somebody who has played games competitively for a long time, if you lose a one like that, like in that sort of fashion, first map, you're going to the second, you're like, oh, for God's sake, the negativity comes in, and it's one of those things that can really eat away.
It can eat away, but you got to think at the pro league, at this top 4 level, you have to be able to put that behind you. You have to think, this is it now. 2 maps left in this series. We've got to win them both. You can't really be dwelling on those losses behind you. And honestly, if we look at last week's performances, both teams stepped it up in that second game.
Yep.
We saw Regal go from that 5-1 to a 5-4, and Obey on the other hand, they stepped up to it was a 5-3 from a 5-2. But both teams did step up. And if Obey can do that again here, they might have a chance of coming back into this.
Possibly.
District is not too far-fetched from their pool of maps. It kind of plays similar to Bunker. If you can get that mid-control, it's very, very difficult to push. And it's a lot more close quarters.
Yeah.
Especially in that middle route, right? So that, for me, actually favors Obey in how the teams are playing currently.
Okay.
It's just if they can capitalize it, just if they can shut that final bit down, can get hold of the map and can just stop Real clawing their way back, then maybe Obey come back.
And I think
it looks difficult.
Yeah, if you look towards the power weapon play, for the most part, wasn't great from either two teams. I expect to see more mid drops here anyway. We will see them come through, and they will be important throughout the rest of this game.
Yep.
I think it comes down to who can start maybe sharpening up with those. Whoever can do that, I think, should be able to take that. We especially see that bandstand fight sort of a big one, depending on what goes down, of course. But yeah, it's one of those where it does come down to those initials. But Obey were winning the majority of them, it has to be said.
That's it.
But could you do more with the power weapons? The same goes for Regal Reserve, though.
When the map wasn't split, Obey looked better.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel. So for me, if you're Obey, you're trying to keep it localized, keep it focused on a specific area, whether that's bandstand or the cinema. I don't know. It's up to them to decide which way they want to play, right? But for me, keep it to an edge, keep it localized, get your best Slayers on that front spawn, and just fight it out with Regal, because quite honestly, you were winning those openings earlier on. It's just when it came down to splitting the map, rotating around, stopping pushes with those power weapons that Zorkos came to play with that torque bow. We saw a clutch kill by Cougars on that drop. There was a few kills here and there that just shut down specific plays from Obey. And that's because there were so many power weapons on the map. It just gets difficult to track them all, right?
Yeah, it does.
How are you supposed to track 2 M-bars, a drop shot, a torque bow, incendiary? Like, it's very, very difficult.
I mean, we can see them on the screen, and it's quite hard to track. Yep. So I think, as a player in that situation, you've got to think about 3 million different things at once.
Yep.
But if you are Obey Alliance, all you have to think of is the next map. Do not rest on your laurels. Do not rest on what happened in that previous game. Bunker, of course, you did lose that one 5-4. Going into District, though, forget about it. That's the only thing you can try and do.
Yep,
push
come in
to the
and
side. Have a good game on District. But the thing is, as well, I really didn't like Obey on District last week.
Yeah, there is that.
A very different team against Rated R, has to be said, but can they get it done against Regal? Only a 17% round win percentage, of course. Saying that, it is after only 1 week, but I don't know, man. It's a tough spot.
It was a tough spot. Honestly, Rated R did look very, very good in it last week as well. They were just fearless. And that's what OB need to do now. They need to be fearless. They need to get up in Regal Reserve's face, slay out. Looks like we're not going to do it so far. Looks like we're going to go back.
Yeah, we're not doing it yet.
For a little bit of a technical reset, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get that sorted ASAP. Obviously, somebody not there or somebody on the wrong side, but we will get it restarted in a second. I think, as we've talked about the mental game for Obey.
Yep.
We've talked about in terms of these power weapon placements as well. If you're Regal Reserve, what are you doing here in this scenario? Are you just you're happy going in after that Bunker win, or you just play your own game once again? This is their pick as well. They will feel confident.
You've just won your opponent's map pick, which is always a good thing.
It's always good.
You're going into your own map pick, which is always a good thing. Quite honestly, the way they came back shows resilience, and it shows they have
they were 4-3 down.
That character where even against the ropes they can come back, they can bounce back, and that's a big thing in Gears. Momentum plays a huge part. If you've got that on your side, fantastic. If you can take that momentum from another team, even better. And Regal Reserve, they're a team that can do that.
Yeah.
If you're going into this map thinking, okay, last map we had a tough one, but we came in, we fought through it, and we were the better team at the end. That's not a bad mentality to come into this. It's better than being on the opposite side, as you said.
Yeah, and it's one of those wins. I said you were behind, you came back, you then go on and win. I mean, they were 2-0 down, then they were 3-2 up, and then they went 4-3 down. So they're always sort of mostly for the most part fighting from behind. So the fact that they've went on to win that one will be good encouragement for them. Bad mentally for Obey Alliance, of course, though. But I said, if they can maybe get their minds switched up moving into District, they should be fine. But we are starting this one back up in just a second, guys. I'm just trying to keep an eye on this one. Not quite sure what the reason for the restart is. I'm never sure. I mostly just blame the admin.
Blame them.
Yeah. The thing is, she's here as well, so I can shout at her.
Hey.
What's going on, Lisa? Sort it out. Get this game started. What's going on?
I think whatever the reason is, it gives us a bit more time to think about the match coming up, right? And
yeah. I don't know if we need it.
Yeah, we've covered everything. And you asked me the question though, like, what do you do if you're Regal Reserve? Like, how do you play this map? You need to be able to counter that single play basically by Obey of rush down the mid, make sure that they can get hold of that mid street. So how do you do that? You find weapons that block areas. You look for your area denial weapons like your shot grenades, like your incendiaries. They played pretty well with the incendiary last game. It wasn't fantastic by any means, but they had some moments where, you know, Zorkos hit physics in the back, not fantastic, but we also saw some great moments where Zorkos hit, you know, Ashen's at the top of a tower, and if you can make use of those incendiaries or those shot grenades and cut off the areas you need to whilst making plays on the other side of the map, you may be able to isolate certain players from Obey here. You might be able to push across that mid, and that's the thing you've got to. That's the difficult thing on this map, is pushing across that mid street, is breaking your way past those towers. Yeah,
that's getting a hold of green and blue. If you can get past that midway point, it's a great place to be in.
Shot grenade and incendiaries are great to do that, right? They're easy weapons to be able to push into the towers with, or push past the towers with. So look for some of those to come out. That's what I think. We'll see where those big weapons go down, because that's going to be the real tale here.
Yeah, I think so. And another tale to note is I'm not as sick as I was last week.
Thank God.
That's a good positive. I still have had to use this cough button quite frequently, it has to be said. I thought I had coronavirus last week.
I'm glad you didn't, because I probably would have had it as well.
I mean, the reports came through that it was from Newcastle, the two that
telling me
that came to. What I will say is that they were just moved to the hospital in Newcastle. I don't actually have coronavirus. Hopefully not. Anyway, and Fru doesn't have it either.
Hopefully not.
I mean, it's not like we've been kissing.
I'm a bit pale, to be quite honest.
I mean, that's just you in general, isn't it?
Yep, that's my elven skin.
Back to the elven jokes. Back into the game we go. This time we're on the right team, so hopefully we can stay in this one, and we will be getting this one started. Great shots by J-Rage there. Physics somehow drops. I don't know what you're laughing at, Brew.
I got to pick the controller, I'm sorry.
It's just good shots coming in from J-Rage. Ashens is there to help him clean up as well. That is momentarily a few down for Regal Reserve. Not in the best of spots. J-Rage is going to find another. He started this one well.
Yep.
It's most of the kills going over towards Obey Alliance.
It is. Defense coming out from Regal down at this A-hill. And this is the aggressive play that I was talking about in the warm-up. Like to see it. Although a good defense coming out from Regal here. Obviously, Regal Reserve switching sides this time around. They're on that swarm side. I can see Obey on the COG team.
And they fought back here because they didn't actually have a few of them down. Oh, Brigger's in a terrible spot. If he does get out of this one, he's done very, very well. He's going to find one. Can he bounce his way to the second? Not quite. Cougars thinks, nope, I don't want any part of this one. We've done enough damage.
Yep.
Let's back on down.
Yeah, that was nice play by Breaker.
He's done well.
He's done very well, and you know, he's got his team this hill back potentially a little bit quicker than what would be expected. Looking at the other side, Zorkos, he's going to fall down. Saki gets that kill. C hill is in Regal's favor. Physics is going to cap that one up, but honestly, all Obey so far. All Obey.
For the most part. I think, you know, Regal were threatening to come out. Had they killed Breaker.
I mean, you're pushing into the opponent's spawn. I guess you can't say it's all Obey, but they were forced to do that given the circumstances they were offered. Cougar's going to fall. Sorry, Physics going to fall. Cougar's going to get the revive. No break.
They're just trying to decap. That's all they were trying to do there. It's a bit of a stalemate here. Obey quite happy to sit back on this 2 cap, which means Regal are the ones having to make the push through. J-Range is going to get dropped by Fractures, who will just about escape with his life. Let's push over towards green. Should work out quite nicely here for Regal Reserve. Breaker's been dropped by Ashens, and then cleaned up by Zorkos. But look at this push here from Obey Alliance. They want to try and defend B. They have to be careful not to be dominated. It has been all Obey throughout this round, but Regal Reserve now in a position to maybe try and win it. Saki does get a kill up over towards B, which is definitely going to help things. Cougars just gives him a haircut and takes him down. Here comes the domination once again, and for all that, Regal Reserve seem to be out of this round for the most part the whole time. That horn just keeps on ticking up top. The push is going to come through from Obey Alliance. They need to get inside. They are going to just force the issue if they can here. J-Rage is going to be dropped. Ashens is going to find some kills of his own, though. Can this be done by Fractures? There's a few members around. TJ is weak. Breaker is too. Breaker's actually going to find 2, though. He's actually just going to find Rita, but the push does come through from Obey Alliance, and it is enough just to let them hold on in this round. Fractures is just still going, though. Eventually, he will go down. Absolute maniacs in the middle of the map there. That was just crazy.
Yep, and all of that stemmed from Reader just not backing out in time. That's all it was. If Reader had just back all the way up, they'd have been in a much better situation. But just like that, Obey, they've turned it around. Cougar's trying to get in. Maybe one too many bounces there, and just like that, Obey again. It looked like it was going to be Obey's run. Looked like it was going to be Regal's run. Now it's back to Obey. And honestly, as I said, Reader just got caught out in cinema by 2 members of Obey.
Yeah.
If he'd have backed off, he'd have had the support from his info.
Yeah.
They'd already taken Juice as well, and they could have just pinned them into that B hill. They could have maybe got the decap, could have Obey, but they would not have got out alive. And that's the big difference there. Just having that one last angle would have offered you the flexibility there just to back out, let the B hill go, and just go for the Lancer kills in the end. Got to be careful with your life. Honestly, though, close round. Close round. Could have gone either way. That fight at the end there was very, very close. You saw 2 down. Good revive on the side of Obey. Good kill on Fractures as well.
I think it was, who was it? Was it Fractures over towards the B side as well? I mean, he got so many downs during that whole period as well. Just couldn't clean them up.
Could not clean.
Here we go. Big push over towards Bandstand as TJ and Co just walk straight into the fire. It is going to be dropped, and oh my god, just line them up if you're Fractures and Cougars. Fish in a barrel. Obey players next to Bandstand. Same thing. Physics is going to find J-Rage eventually as well, and if you are now Regal Reserve, you back on down, you get a hold of your home hill. This might be the quickest round we've seen all day so far. It's looking that way. Saki nowhere near. Not going to happen. Regal Reserve just flick a switch. A 34-second round. That's as quick as they're likely to say. Yeah. What's the quickest? I want to say we've seen like a 29-second at some point. That rings a bell.
Yeah, last week we saw a 29-second round.
I think so. I think it would have been easy trying to stick at somebody, I presume. Well, of course,
I think it was rated R.
Was it?
I think it was the round after Marsh and Paynes went a bit crazy and got that 3v5. So after the highlight round.
Oh, yes, of course.
I think it was the round after that.
It's alright, I watched that round enough.
Oh, ain't you the only one?
Yeah.
It's a great play.
It was very good. Play. Great play by rated R. Maybe not so good by OB Alliance.
Yeah, I'd agree there. Let's have a bit of a look at the opener. We do see incendiaries down on both sides, so matching things out here. Nothing too exciting, but we do see those area denial weapons coming in. Fracture's going to be holding this bandstand all alone. Breaker's going to be able to push in. One incend goes down. Doesn't connect yet. Cougars, in fact, both incends go down. J-Rage going to fall now. TJ, perhaps the next play, isn't able to get that revive either, so there's going to be 2 kills now for Regal.
TJ and J-Rage going down, as you said. Regal Reserve starting to get back into this game now. Slow start from them. They could have won that first round. They win the second with utter ease.
Smart play by Breaker there.
Yep. What did he do?
Just want to call it out. As the fight was going down mid, when there was those 2 downs, he managed to sneak around through the back of Bandstand and get the decap on Regal's home hill. And then just basically carried on running and got himself back out before the 2 members of Regal that had died came off spawn. Really smart play. Just heads-up plays like that could, you know, basically save your team 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And that can be enough in some rounds.
It's just a distraction tactic, isn't it?
Yep. It pulled 2 people back towards the home hill as well.
100%. Well, what can Breaker do? Can he continue causing problems for Regal Reserve? Oh, he's in a bad spot once again, but when you pin him in a corner, Breaker just seems to get a little bit angry. It's like, don't poke the bear. Was it don't corner a lion? I can't remember.
Can have whichever you want.
It's one of those sayings, you know, as a commentator, you would think these things will come easy to me, but they really do not. Either way, he does well to get the kill, but can't quite keep hold of B. I see you keep laughing in the corner of my eye.
Well, you can see he's in front as well if you like. But
the kill's coming in for Obey, though. For all that Regal Reserve had control, they have everybody dead. And actually, if you're Zorkos, you probably need to try and stay alive here. He is going to be dropped. The elimination not going to quite come through as the respawns eventually do. Regal Reserve still with the lead here, but the win condition with Obey.
That it is. A scrappy fight there from Regal. Costs them quite a lot, to be honest with you. And it could be a domination from Obey now. They're going to be able to get that down. Reader trying to open up. Great incendiary from Breaker. There we go. That's what he can do. Reader, Fractures both going to fall, but the B-Hill does go the way of Regal Reserve, so that's the saving grace right now. TJ in a bad spot here, getting Lancer down. Yeah, doesn't get taken down in the end. Right, dodges the bullets. Channeling is in a Neo, 100% health still. Breaker gets another.
Still alive, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He's done really well, you know. He's done really, really well with the help of his teammates. He managed to lock this one down. Saki, though, is the one that trying to cause the problems. Is going to get dropped, though, as the rest of his team do push over towards C, get a hold of it, but they can't quite get a hold of B here. Obey Alliance. However, they're in a good spot. If you're Regal, you need to dominate now. Regal is going to find 2, though. Maybe something on the cards here. They're getting a hold of their own home flag as well. The flash comes through. 30 seconds to play with here as well. Reed just about going to get through, but he needs support from the rest of his team here. He's just like being shot like a fish in a barrel. Oh, he is going to get the snap up top, though. Is he going to find TJ? Yes, he is. He is going to be helping the capture here as well. Surely Regal Reserve haven't turned this round. Oh, my word. Obey Alliance just fell apart. Oh.
That's going to be a tough one.
That's a bad round.
That's a tough one if you're Obey.
Yeah. No,
Great
there's a
play
couple
by
of them
Regal.
alive as well, and it's just
It was Reader, right? Under that wall.
Yep.
They could have
I
quite
mean, how
easily...
does he survive? That's...
That
the
looks
thing is,
to be miscommunication from...
He's there. J-Rage kills one who's coming around the corner, but he's so weak. If they just drop him, then he's the closest one. J-Rage can maybe get the second as well. It's
Yep.
a weird round.
Yep. And there was someone just hiding at the back of the bandstand there as well, just in position.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. He was the one that got the kills
just
following
needed
up. Yeah.
to step out and maybe get a Lancer angle on that, but he
where's
was
the
flashed.
positioning from Obey as well? There's 2 of them still left alive, and when
Difficult.
the domination comes through, it's like, well...
That's the problem with, putting quite a lot of stock in those raised rooms, right, in Juice.
Yeah.
If you're nowhere near a ring and you're threatening domination, it's very, very difficult to get from Juice or Info into those raised rooms. Have a look what went down. Incendiary isn't on the map. We got some loadout options as well coming in as well from Obey.
Yep. That happened on Bunker as well. And I don't want to say they got punished for it, but they were definitely at a disadvantage in that final round in terms of the initials anyway. Saki now at a disadvantage because he can't see. Zokos will easily find that kill, and B should belong to Regal Reserve.
Should indeed. Just going to drop back now and hold this nice position from Zokos. Quick look at the mini-map. Cougar's leading the way there. 17 eliminations.
Yeah. TJ sitting at 4.
TJ
is not great.
What's his... oh, there it is.
Look at that.
His average KDA coming in 1.68. They're not the best, to be quite honest with you, in week 1. We are seeing the likes of Crimson's up at about 4.0. But lots of time to improve that, for sure.
It doesn't count. Crimson's is only used finest. They usually dominate the rest of the top end of the stats.
All right, we'll go.
After that,
we'll go a step down. Rated R, I think. Who was it from Rated R? One of the Rated R team members. Nope.
Was it?
It was Slazen.
Slazen, that was it.
It was Slazen, and he's got about a 2.7 or so.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like your next team down, essentially, in that KDA, at least the average KDA.
Now, I'm fully justifying my pick of Marsh last week as the MVP.
Marsh was second. He was
second on Radar.
Second on Radar, yeah. After Slazen.
But top of the stats very much belong to EU's finest, as they did all last season as well.
Yep.
But I just thought, Marsh first game back, played really, really well in this new team.
I think it was well deserved.
Yeah. No favoritism here at EGL.
Definitely not.
Anyway, we'll see how Marsh does in the second game against EU's finest, against his old team. That's when his bread is going to be buttered, so to speak. Cougars now. Just trying to stay alive. It was a good flash came through from Obey. I don't think it quite ticks over the wall, though. Who's going to get a drop on the Ashens? Maybe just deny the inevitable. Probably going to have to back on down, but does actually have some support. You're going to get a hold of C. Thankfully for Obey, you do have a hold of B, though.
Huge point lead as well for Regal Reserve. Almost 100 points in it now. Will be in just a second. Incendiary is well in hand here for Cougars, so this push is going to be very, very difficult for Obey.
Cougars now. Posturing up with the rest of his team. The Incend doesn't land either. That's a difficult position to be in. Saki has slipped the net. Gets around, but Regal Reserve are the ones in the driving seat here. They only need 1 hill.
They're about to lose.
Pick up Saki as well. That's a good position to be in. Actually, they're losing it.
Yeah, I was going to say they're about to lose all the hills.
Who's overextended? Looks to be TJ.
Yep. I'm going to look at this B hill. Cog will win if they can get hold of something. No one capped the C hill. That's the issue. They left the C hill down. So they're going to try and defend this until someone comes to spawn.
Yeah,
they are spawn now.
They haven't been able to quite capture A, though.
Let's have a quick look down here. What's going on? TJ getting a double kill, actually. This might be it. He's done it for his team once again.
My word. We just caught the rear end of that one, but Obey Alliance off the back of TJ. get that round.
How many times has he done that now in this league?
Oh, good lord. I mean, he's literally won them games on his own.
Yeah.
And that might be the start of this one for Obey Alliance.
Seconds in it, and he always comes at clutch.
3-1. That should be 3-1.
You think so, right?
Yep.
He just always seems to come out when it matters.
We only saw really the back end of that 1v2, but huge players out of TJ. I said a 1.68.
That objective score as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, objective, a new stat we're bringing in. It's basically just the sum of caps and breaks put together, but just gives an idea of how involved players are in those objectives.
See, we're just setting trends here with DGL, aren't we?
Trying to.
New stats. We're making up stats as we go along. And look at them all.
There you go. That's all last week's stats for Obey. And then on the Regal reserve side, Zorko's leading the way as we saw in that head-to-head matchup.
Thanks, producer Brew.
Trying my best.
You just saluted to nobody.
I'm
sorry.
Matt's on the camera.
I'll let the stream know.
Why'd you have to do me like that?
Yeah, well, you deserve it for that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, we have now changed points, of course. E over towards the bandstand. F and D over towards the side of the map. Next to Cinema, though, either side. The initials did just about go towards Obey, though. They are going to get a hold of E. J-Rage is going to stay alive, but they need to get a hold of their home hill, which they aren't able to use. Regal extending themselves to a home hill hold. And that's not a bad idea on this side. When it does flip over to this one, it's one that you can do quite easily, especially if you start, placing power weapons up towards that side of the map.
Yep.
It's never a bad position to be in as well. And Fractures, big flashes coming out. Is this going to be enough? Not quite.
Just can't get in there. So much fire in the ring.
They're threatening it. Here comes the domination potentially, and that's disappointing if you're Obey. I like it from Regal. They use a lot of utility to lock that one down. Eventually, the flashes, the incense come out, but it just seems a little bit too easy. I mean, look, everybody on Obey is alive.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that. That's not how the scoreboard comes up. If they were dead at the end of the round, as far as I'm aware, the strike through is there.
Should be.
Am I making that up? No, I'm not making that up. Everyone was alive.
If they've not respawned back in.
I think everyone was alive.
Well, we'll keep an eye on things as we go forward. Honestly, the most strange, disappointing, I don't know what thing to call it, is TJ's stat line.
I mean, you want to say that, but at the same time, he's the only reason they're now 4-1 down.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with that. It just feels like that was pretty much all his play, right? Maybe, I mean, him and Physics as well, like they're about even, so maybe it's just the position they're playing in right now that
possibly
is leading to a lower scoreline. But let's have a look, actually. Let's have a look at TJ. We've not jumped on his opening.
The thing is, though, with TJ, we became accustomed last season of him just going off every single game. I mean, what was it, 50 and 60 kills at a time?
Yep.
Struggling now to find even 15 or 20. Wow. I mean, he's just going to be punished there, and there's quite fortunate if you are Regal Reserve to not take a couple of your teammates down, but everybody else dropping. Breaker and J-Rage alongside TJ, all dying.
You can see them scarpering now, just trying to get away, trying to keep their selves alive here. Ashen's.
Saki is there with him as well, and TJ coming up off the respawn queue. They should be able to at least find something here on Reader and Zokos. They do so. Both of them dropped. Ashen's, though, arriving a little bit too late. Or has he? Say that. Fractures is dead, as for his Physics. They will get a hold of F, and they will be able to retreat back over towards D to get a hold of that as well. They're capturing E. If you're TJ, you just leave that one for Regal Reserve to keep a hold of, but...
There's a weapon we've not seen too often.
It's a retro?
The Retro Lancer, yeah. Also M-Bar on the map now, something we didn't really point out, but that did get placed down that bandstand. But yeah, the Retro...
You had the scoreboard up, pal.
I'm sorry, I was looking at stats. Looking at...
You lowest stat.
Do. Good number.
A good number.
Oh. And bad numbers as well. They make for interesting.
Bad numbers on the screen right now for Obey Alliance. You're down 3-2. Like that segue. Regal Reserve now in control of the map, but it is Obey Alliance with control of the points. There comes the big fat flash over the top. Fractures, what can he do with it? The decap at least. He's going to have to back on down in a second. Another flash coming through. I love this use of utility from Regal Reserve. They just time them so well together, and it just blinds Obey Alliance for the longest time possible. And now you can't get next to E. If you're Breaker and Co, you have to make this push in the middle of no man's land. Rita is going to back on down with his life as well. Damage already done.
It shows you just how well it's working for them as well when they're trying it 2 rounds in a row and getting so close on that second round. A little bit of a adaptation there from Obey. They kind of basically brute force their way through it this time around, rather than letting Regal just set up that utility after incendiary after utility. But nice, smart heads-up play from Regal, just trying to get those triple caps where they can. Breaker's managed to get himself this M bar, so let's see what he can do with this one.
Yeah, I've got a hold of F once again as well.
Yeah, it's a mid-drop M bar this time around, so you see 6 shots in the chamber this time around. A few more, isn't able to connect with the first 2. Did have the opportunity there as well.
Not quite landing.
Yep.
That would have been nice. That would have definitely helped Obey get back in the control of this round, because right now it is Regal Reserve's win condition. No, he's lining a few up, but it's just a case of couldn't quite pick which one he wanted to shoot.
Yep, just shot in the middle in the end.
Yeah. Breaker and Co trying to make the push. That's a lot better with the Nasher, though. Yep. He is going to find one. Zorkos and Co, though, over towards E are just, you know, they're rotating where they need to every single time. Problem is here over towards D, though. It's mostly unmanned. Which way do they choose to go? They're actually going to go towards E. Here comes the push from Obey Alliance. It has to be quick. It has to be fast. You also need to go over towards D as well. The flash comes out. Everybody's flashed. Good lord. They are going to get in there. It's not going to be enough time, though. Regal Reserve will find another round. For Obey Alliance there, you have to stretch yourself across the whole of the map, really, don't you, to win that round. Regal just put themselves in the position.
Yep. It was that potential M-bar kill down at that E-hill that really was the critical point in that round.
Yeah.
They had to be a lot quicker there. And honestly, a good defense again by Regal, just pushing that line of defense all the way up into Obey's half. Just holding basically 2/3 of the map makes it so difficult, because then Regal, they just have to back out once, and they're still holding mid group, right?
Yep.
Midline, and then they back out again, and you're firing down onto midline from Juice. So you've essentially got 3 lines you've got to push through. And for Obey, that's very, very tough. Drop shot going to go down at Cinema, though. This makes things a little bit more exciting.
That's Obey's pick as well.
Splits the map a little bit. Obey were reasonably good at it over on Bunker. Let's see how the teams play this one out. Let's look at that overhead map.
It's going to be a lot of people up towards drop shot, you feel?
Yeah, it looks like pretty much matching stats here. 3 matching stats, matching strats. 3 over to the Cinema. Let's jump on board with physics.
Oh, that's not the start you want if you're Obey. Saki finds JRH. Oh, and then TJ just finds 2. He does answer back very, very quickly. Saves his team's blushes. Ashens is going to go down the other side of things, though, but that should be a drop shot now in hand. That long shot, though, for Zorkos. We missed that one.
Yep, 3 shots on it.
Surely not. Look at the shot to TJ. We know Zorkos has this in his locker.
Yep, he definitely can hit a shot or 2 with this long shot. M-bar as well for Fractures. Nice double kill for Fractures with that incendiary. They've just loaded him up, basically. A double kill coming down for Obey, though, as well. Fractures falls. So that is that M-bar out of the game.
But for all...
Oh, Zorkos, you had the chance there.
I think he was expecting Saki to rotate the same way he had done. Now the long shot. Nothing in the chamber. Nothing in the mag. Have to get rid of that one. But for all that we say, you know, Obey Alliance got a hold of all of these power weapons, etc., etc. Yes, they have a hold of D and E. But it wasn't quite as clean cut as they probably would have liked. But still one shot in this drop shot. Look at this push coming through for Regal Reserve, though. Can you make this one work? Everybody hitting the floor. It's now up to Fractures to try and do something impossible. Not going to happen. He gets taken down, as does Rita. This is looking like a round for Obey Alliance. Push going to come through here onto Zorkos as well. Has to back on down, but Obey going to have to extend over towards E. It's a lone ranger from Regal Reserve just trying to get hold of that one, but now it is going to be Zorkos just trying to stay alive. Did find Ashens, can't find TJ. That should be the round to Obey Alliance. 4-3 now, much better from them.
Much better round.
Yep.
To be fair, though, off the back of another clutch play by TJ.
Yeah, once again.
Had to slay out, basically, in a disadvantage.
It's not the amount of kills you make, it's the important ones.
That's true. And they have been important so far. They've basically been the catalyst for 2 rounds. Obviously not discrediting the rest of the team. They are playing around those kills, but without those a couple of double kills that he's got in these very, very close rounds, Obey wouldn't be anywhere near this scoreline, to be quite honest with you. Which is interesting to say for a player at the bottom of that stat board. Having a look at the overhead map, what's gone down? M-bar, snipers on both sides now.
Ooh. Who gets there first?
And we do have a loadout option as well for the cog side and for the swarm side. So,
well, Saki will get a hold of the long shot, but if you are Regal Reserve, you sent everybody and your granny over towards the drop shot. This time round, though, they're going to lose the fight again. J-Ridge, can he find 3 over here? Saki helps him out before he does go down. But J-Rage does really, really well. He will get the drop shot as well as a reward. Saki has to back on down, but the damage may be done. If you're Obey Alliance, yes, you have the drop shot, but you actually get some points on the board here as well. Uh-oh. That's at least one.
That was.
Zorkas is then taken down. Still no points. Not a single hill for Regal Reserve quite yet. And that's all down to the initials for Obey. They get the kills where they need to. Now, if you're J-Rage, you're in a really good spot. Cougar should be dead here as well. He is really nicely done with the drop shot. Push is going to have to be enigmatic from Regal Reserve. They are going to find a couple of kills here, though. J-Rage and TJ going down, as does Fractures, though. He killed himself with an Incend. Oh, watch out.
Ooh. Snipe v Snipe matchup. Don't get many of those these days.
Oh,
that was one of the staples of competitive gears was
I miss it.
Canals.
I miss it so much.
Snipe v Snipe.
Is there many more satisfactory moments in a game than landing a meaty headshot?
Sweet meaty headshot. No, not really. Not really.
Obey Alliance still trying to get things done. Look at Ashen's go. Good lord. Physics and Cougars both going down to his sword. Really nicely done. Breaker's going to find one in the bandstand as well. Gets him back up. This is surely go to round number 9 once again.
What a fantastic comeback so far by Obey.
They've been so much better these last few rounds.
Haven't they? Just 4-2 down, now 4-4. Round 9. Everything to play for once again, and Ashen's leading the charge. We called him out in that head-to-head as being the one to watch, and, well, honestly, he is performing today. 32 eliminations to 6 deaths.
He's playing quite well.
He's got that backpack on. That's what he's got on.
Yep.
Fantastic play by Ashen's. And now, what's the choice here? A disable on the long shot, so Regal Reserve without a sniper. Cougars.
Makes sense. Ever since the drop shots come through, it has really mostly been Obey Alliance's game.
Yep.
And it goes, yep, makes sense.
And that's kind of interesting that you opt to block out the mid weapon, and by doing that you knowingly give your opposition a power weapon advantage in that sniper. But if the headshots aren't coming through,
yep,
and you think that the drop shot is causing you more harm, then
well, let's see what Saki's gonna do with it.
Good. Let us have a look.
No, not much when nothing's actually really going on here, but the rest of the Obey Alliance team getting the work done. Cougars charging up. The air ball is going to hit TJ. That might just slow down this push from Obey. Cougars will eventually go down. But here come the cavalry.
Ashes again.
Fractures get done. Finds one. Not going to find J-Rage, though. The domination may come through once again, but that's a well-placed incend. If you are Zorkos, but it isn't enough. They're holding on by the skin of their teeth, but they will hold on. Rita and Physics getting it done over towards E, and they have just about slowed down Obey.
Only just, though. Great double kill with that M-bar by Cougars. Fantastic, but Obey just doing everything there they can just to slay out. You can see the push coming in on Physics' right-hand side. He's got to be very careful. The flashbangs are going to go now. The push comes in. Looks like the break's going to be the priority here. Reader's going to fall. Physics kind of out of position here. Doesn't have anyone or anything to fall back to. The push.
Fast and frantic round. I tell you what, Obey Alliance smell blood here.
Physics doing well to get out of there alive, and now let's turn around.
J-Rage on the back side of things is going to find Cougars as well. Probably going to get some support from him. No, he isn't. He's dead. Well played by him anyway. TJ with no lives remaining on the side of Obey Alliance. Keep an eye on that.
Cougars too, they're on the side of Regal. We've got to be very, very careful. This could go down to the wire. 4v4, we might see.
They're going for it. Rita is going to be dropped. He should be able to be picked up by his teammate. Fractures just gets his head down and starts running. Has to back on down, gets the kill, gets out as well. Nicely done from Fractures. Obey Alliance being careful in their spawn. TJ and J-Rage both 0 respawns remaining, as has Cougars, as said. He's now being captured, actually. Regal Reserve are in a position to dominate here. I don't know if there's anybody actually anywhere near for Obey Alliance, apart from over towards D. They do make that push as Regal back off, and they're quite happy to sit on the 2 cap here for it.
And I find it kind of amazing that Regal decide to not fight that at the D hill.
I think they presume that Obey are going to send everything.
Yeah. I think you're completely right. But looking at what we could see through this X-ray camera, they had the numbers, they had the time to fight. They could. All you had to do was just hold on for 3 seconds. You don't even have to win the fight. You've just got to hold them off for just a few seconds while you lock in. That said, we do have that M-bar pop back up again. Going to jump on board quickly with that. Let's find out what Reader's up to.
And the thing is they put an Incend in that corner of bandstand to try and stop him getting a hold of the M-bar. It doesn't quite stretch across, but then it stops them making the push, so he's easily able to pick it up and finds a headshot straight off the rip. Regal Reserve now somehow in the position to win this game.
We do have Breaker with this sniper as well, so M-bar versus sniper here. as things start to tense up. 50 seconds left on the clock. Swarm will win in 25 seconds because they have that double cap ticking up twice as fast now.
Obey have to go.
He's rotating over with this M-bar, trying to stop the push a little bit. And now, Obey, they know they're there. Regal Cougars, he gets a kill on J-Rage. That could be huge right now. Looking to get the first kill. Reader does find it. Looking for his second now. Picks up with that Nasher, does get the kill. Looks like it's going to be Regal Reserve. Only TJ left alive. He's going to fall down. They might have just done enough here.
They've more than done enough. This is surely it. Reader has not missed a bullet with this Ember. And they walk away with the final round once again. That's 2 round 9 wins for Regal Reserve in the first 2 maps. They will take both of them. 5-4. That's a painful loss for Obey Alliance, who slipped to 0-2 here in the winter quarter of the Gears Pro League. Regal Reserve, though, get a win on the board for the first time this season.
Yep.
And it was a hard work, honestly.
Hey, they had to fight for it.
Obey looked like they were so aggressive at the beginning of that round and that final round on the second map there, and it just didn't pay off for them in the end. I think, you know, if it comes down, it was hard to mention it as it was going on because you only seen it in the side corner. When they put that insend over towards Bandstand, it allowed Reader the fact to then pick up the Ember, and the fact that he finds 3 or 4 kills in that last round with it. I don't want to say that's solely the reason, but it's definitely a contributing factor as to why Regal Reserve win that one 5-4. Let's see how this one did break down. Bunker and District both to Regal Reserve 5-4. We went as far as we could in both of those maps, but everything happened, and then Regal Reserve won. It doesn't seem to matter.
Close.
Very, very close.
Yeah, I mean, Obey, they had almost a fantastic comeback in the books there. 4-2 down, brought it back to 4-4. Couldn't quite close it out. I have to commend Regal Reserve for their play on that last round, though. Their decision there, their strategy, how they played that final round was very, very interesting to me. They block out that drop shot, so they shut down that top end, that cinema end of the map.
They were losing ever since the drop shot came
They were losing it, you're right. And you know, their sniper was blocked out, so they opted to give Obey an extra power weapon. But what they did instead,
if you're going to give them anything,
they shifted everybody down to the bandstand area. There was no one there for them to headshot, basically, with that sniper. So it didn't really matter that they had it. It didn't come into use. They managed to get that M-bar over and over again. And my, oh my, did Reader not pop off with that at the end.
Did so well with it. Check out the highlights after today if you did want to see that one again. We'll get that out tomorrow if we can. Really nicely done by Reader. We're going to go for a short break, though. We're going to crack a rated R. Going up against EU's finest after this.